The realm of India's human resources, marked by its vast reservoir of talent, skill, and potential, finds itself subject to the governance of a political leadership that appears to lack the caliber required to match the nation's aspirations. The superior quality of India's workforce, with its intellectual prowess and diverse capabilities, stands in stark contrast to the perceived inadequacy of the prevailing political leadership. Here we find a political commentator from Bangladesh is pointing out how Indian political leadership's pretense of world leadership is ridiculed in BRICS assembly. During the occasion of attending BRICS summit in Johannesburg, South Africa, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi reportedly had refused to get off the plane out of a feeling of disrespect pertaining to diplomatic protocol. A news item to this effect has been published in South African media. It has also been alleged that to prevent this news item to reach Indian readers, cyber attacks have been carried out on the South African media that flashed this news item. A report published in a South African media word states Modi refused to get off the plane at the Waterglobe Airport in Pretoria near Johannesburg. The reason being, it became known before landing that instead of the president, one of the ministers of that country has been assigned to welcome Prime Minister Modi at the airport. Modi's reason for feeling disrespected was that President Cyril Ramaphosa of South Africa himself was present in the airport to welcome the Chinese president the day before. However, to remove Modi's displeasure, the vice president of that country was finally sent to the airport. Many have commented that Modi considers himself a great leader, but the reality is different. It's an exaggeration for him to have the same status as Xi Jinping, the leader of the world's second largest economy, China. This incongruity, that is disparity, is evident in the leadership's struggle to effectively harness human capital towards achieving overreaching developmental goals. A chasm or crack seems to exist between the nation's potential and the leadership's ability to navigate complex challenges, make informed decisions, and implement visionary policies. This dichotomy or contradiction potentially impedes progress, stifles innovation, and hampers equitable growth. This crisis of political leadership is forcing Indians to migrate from India in pursuit of better life to the countries of Anglo-American West. Here is an excerpt of statements made by one named by Jayant Bhandari. Let me caution you that this narrative may be too harsh and far too crude, yet this narrative is candid about the quality of life for Indians in India, which the Western media goes out of their way to whitewash. The sinister motive of Western media for glorifying Indian government is to position India for a proxy war with China. Let's take a listen.
Well, I don't know where you get that figure from. Most Indians don't have access to water, Kevin. It was only when I arrived in the West that I realized that you could get water 24 hours in the tap. Even in the best and most urbanized, richest part of India, you get water for a couple of hours every day. That's the limit of water in the taps. A very, very large proportion of the country, easily much more than 500 million people, have zero access to tap water. They have to go to the sewage kind of canals to get some water. So yes, the country is still savage, is still barbaric, and there will be huge pressures on the Western system because anyone who understands the world will, even vaguely, is trying to leave India and move to the US. There's a massive amount of illegal refugees now entering the US from the Mexican border. And this will continue to increase as time goes by because just the fact that 1 out of 5 or 1 out of 6 people on the planet is an Indian today. There's no way out of that situation, and that is why every Indian who can leave the country leaves the country. The country is falling apart. And I'm saying this, Kevin, because despite the fact that if you go on CNN or if you go to the German ambassador, or if you go to I'm not talking about recent talks by Secretary of Commerce, the USA, they are extraordinarily euphoric about India. They see India as the place that will deliver growth to the world. And that tells me about two things. Either these people are completely stupid, or they are trying to position India for something against China.
Here is a debate among anchors of British and Indian, where the British anchor is proposing that UK government stop giving aids to India and even retrieve past aids. Indian anchor arguing that under the pretext of aid, Brits are supporting their NGOs who create market for India and repatriate profit back to US, a neo-colonial operation re-established to which Indian government is fully conforming. Here it is.
The Brits were not doing us any favor. They were doing charity out here, not because there was some altruism involved in it. They were doing it because they buy people out here, they buy their loyalties, they buy their lobbying thing. They want those people to lobby out here and disparage India. So please give me a break. Take your money and shove it up wherever you want to shove it up. Okay, number one. Number two, whatever monies they are giving right now, nothing is coming to the government of India. They're only giving it to NGOs which plug the line which the Brits want to do. And there is some of it which is going into business houses because they are trying to create markets and trying to create synergies between Indian businesses and British businesses.
For India to realize its true potential, it necessitates a symbiotic relationship between its exceptional human resources and a political leadership that demonstrates foresight, strategic thinking, and a deep commitment to the nation's well-being. Bridging this gap requires a paradigm shift in governance, one that aligns with the nation's dynamic talent pool and propels India towards a future of genuine excellence and prosperity. But that doesn't seem likely anytime soon. But why? Based on the examples in front of the world, key to the rise of a nation following prolonged inertia is its outstanding leadership reshapes its human resources through drastic reforms of schooling. Fact that 50 million people of an island nation like England has subjugated half the world and even to this day domesticated billions of people of South Asia alone is by virtue of the quality of their human resources, which is a product of their political leadership. Same applies to the rise of China, Russia, Germany, and collective West. That quality of leadership is simply missing from India, that can and has the intention to utilize their outstanding quality of human resources for nation building. When that day appears on the horizon of India, first sign will be fierce resistance and media warfare against India. India coming closer and closer to the Anglo-American West signals her subservience and domestication with the West, meaning more misery and pauperization of a gifted population, followed inevitably by enrichment of the leadership of which every second one has criminal record and every third one is semi-illiterate. If you like what you see and hear, please subscribe and ring the bell.